All set? All right, so this is Lucy's Roadmap to Success. I've got some little tricky trainer treats. I've coaxed her up to sit with me for the video. And when I first arrived, she was really excited. She's a young puppy and was kind of jumping up. And the guardian's primary concern with her was her crate anxiety and her barking at different things, especially barking in the crate. So the first thing I want to remind the guardian of is that dogs think in very cause and effect ways. So if she's barking when she's in a crate, you don't want to let her out, because if you let her out or start to pay attention to her, talk to her, anything when she's barking, we're reinforcing that behavior. So make sure that when she's doing anything undesirable, that you either ignore her or use the escalating consequences, or depending on what it is, you can redirect her to do something else. Like if she's chewing on something, you can get her to engage in a different toy or activity to put her in the right direction. Give her what to do versus what not to do. So that'll be the same for the crate. So we want to work on a couple times a day. I'd encourage you to start increasing the duration that she's in her crate. Every time she goes in there, make sure you give her a treat reward. Vary up the amount of time that she's in there. So at first, only having the door shut for a second and then letting her out is long enough. You want her to be very calm while she's in the kennel. That means that if she starts pawing at the door, you wait until she calms down to open the door. So if you're only at 2 seconds in duration, but she starts pawing, it means maybe you need to go back to 1 second, but for that time period, you have to wait for her to relax and stop pawing at the door before you open it. So I would practice the kennel exercise a couple of, probably once or twice a day, until you get to the point where she can go in her kennel reliably and be in there for probably past an hour without crying, barking, or whining. That'll be a good marker for her to start gaining that type of self-control. The other thing you want to do is make sure that her kennel is always in a nice, quiet, comfortable space. Right now we moved it to next to the couch to take it out of a high traffic area, but she still has sight lines to her guardian in the primary space. So keep her kennel door open so she can create a positive association with being in it and not always then having the guardian being removed. So it doesn't always equal being alone. She can be in there comfortably on her own by her own choice and still be with her guardian. The next thing that we did is go over the leadership exercise, and that is in the video above. And I would encourage you to practice that probably 2 times a day. Make sure she gets a nap in between. So separate these out throughout the day so it's not just one and then doing it again and again. We did that today, but that's atypical. So make sure you practice that twice a day. The next thing is to help her have a softer mouth. We start practicing take it and then leave it. So take it, you want to start moving. We can do it kind of quick here. Try it, instead of coming up above her head like this, coming down towards her, go out and start moving your hand towards her. And as she starts to get her nose too close, we take it away. Oh. Take it. So we say take it. That helps her recognize when the food is offered to her that it's for her. The other thing is it's teaching her some more self-control, which is stemming, kind of building her up to be better in the kennel as well, because we're teaching her general self-control and getting her to have a softer mouth so she's not biting at things. The second thing we worked on was leave it, where we started putting a treat on the floor with our hands clasped over it. As she stopped digging at it, we take it, give it to her and say, take it. Over time, we'll get to the point where we have the treat down, put our hands over like this, and then slowly dropping it and getting to the point where we can drop it and leave it. And once we get to that point, when you drop it, you can say, leave it. Then start pairing the word with the action, because she's getting better at it. Don't say leave it until she's very successful and just lays there when you drop the food, okay? And then when you pick it up to give it to her, say take it. All right, so these are the main exercises that you want to go over. I would practice the take it and leave it probably 3 times a day. Try to pair that as something that you do when she comes in from going outside. It's just a great way to just kind of keep this at different time periods throughout the day. Don't practice training for longer than 3 minutes at a time. And remember to keep her having a strong recall that when she's outdoors and you call her to come in, to always give her a treat when she's coming inside. It will just make sure that she always comes running when you call her name. And remember that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.